welcome to the clinic today. My name's Samantha and it's lovely to meet you.
Hi Samantha.
So what brings you here today?
I'm interested in taking taking care of myself better, and a friend of mine recommended that I should take an iridology evaluation, and that's why I'm here.
Okay.
I have it's my first time. I know very little about iridology,
Okay.
but I'm very interested to find out more and how it can help me stay healthy.
Okay, great. All right. Well, I think you're in for a treat today. So I'll tell you a little bit about iridology to start off with.
Sure.
Okay. So iridology is the study of health through an examination of the eye. So we look at the eye colour, the eye structure, any markings that we might see present in the eye. So what we can tell from that is your body's constitution, so what your health is like, what ailments or illnesses you might be more predisposed to. We can look at your family health history, so we can go back not just through you, but through your parents, your grandparents, and even your great-grandparents. So we can see the health history of them in the eye. We pick up points of nurture, so they might be points in your eye where you might have a weakness to maybe some health concerns down the line, or it doesn't necessarily mean that these things are going to happen to you, but they're points that we can pick out, and if you're interested in your health, we can then say, okay, these are points in the body that you really need to take extra care of.
Okay.
By no means is it a diagnostic tool though, so I can't look into your eye and diagnose an issue or a health concern. We can only, like I said, pick up points of nurture or weakness that you can take care of. Okay, does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, excellent. So why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Okay. I'm 50. I am originally from Singapore. I moved here to Australia as retirement.
Oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah. So now I do some farming, and I'm pretty much a stay-at-home dad. Look after my family. Do you want to know about my past health history, or?
No, that's okay. What we'll do is I'll look into your eyes and see what we can pick up there.
Okay.
And relate it back to your health history or maybe your family health history.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to look into both of your eyes. I'm going to be using my magnifier, which has a light on there.
Okay.
Okay. I'm also going to be using a pen torch with a light on like this.
Yeah.
Okay. I will be using my chart. So this is my iridology chart. It has the right and the left eye here, and it just shows me the corresponding reflex zones. So this is all the organs and the tissues of the body. So when I look at your eye, I can refer back to here and I can show you what I'm seeing. Okay, so it's good to refer to. So through the assessment, I will be leaning in close to you. There may be points where I will touch your face, just to steady my hand with the magnifier or the light.
Okay.
I might have to lift your eyelid at some point.
Okay.
Are you comfortable with this?
Yep. Okay. No problem.
Okay, so any questions before we start?
No.
Okay, let's get started. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is look at your pupil and how it reacts to the light.
Okay.
Okay, so if you just look at this point on my head for me, just a focal point there.
Okay.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
Okay, and the other eye. Okay, you got really good reaction time there on the pupil. You've got a nice round pupil. It's not too big, not too small. What's your energy levels like, Paul?
Oh, my energy is very good.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've retired.
Yep.
I'm up early in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I go to bed early. I feel very revitalized throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't drink any coffee.
Okay.
I work on the farm all day, and I don't think at any point during the day I used to nap a lot
Okay.
when I was working, but I don't feel the need to nap anymore.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. So
Yes.
I'm saying that because when looking at the pupil, if it has a good reaction time, so it's not slow when it's dilating or opening back up with the light, that shows that you've got good vitality, good energy, you know, your nervous system's functioning well. So that's great. Okay. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to take some notes today,
Okay.
just so I can keep a record of what we've talked through
Okay.
or what we've looked at, and then
Okay.
we can talk through the notes at the end.
Okay.
Okay, they will be kept confidential.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so now we're going to look at the colour of your eyes.
Okay.
All right, if at any point these lights make your eye feel uncomfortable, if you feel any discomfort whatsoever, let me know and we can pull back, okay?
Okay.
All right, so let's look at the colour. We'll do your left eye first. Okay, and in. Okay, and the right eye. Okay, so as you probably know, you've got brown eyes.
Yes, I
They're
do.
lovely brown eyes.
Thank you.
Okay, so in iridology, you have 3 coloured eyes. So there's the blue eye, there'll be the brown eye, and then there's the mixed eye. So yours is the brown, and we call that a hematogenic type. So this type's usually more prone to digestive and elimination issues, issues of the liver, even blood conditions.
Okay.
Okay, so whereas the blue eye is more lymphatic and respiratory conditions, so
Okay.
that's something we can tell just from the colour of
Okay.
your eye.
Wow.
Okay, so while I was having a look at the colour, I also looked at the structure of your eye, so that's the pigmentation, the fibres. Okay, so you've got quite a good structure, so a strong structure, which means you've got a good resilience. Okay, so there's only very few markings on there. There's not much separation of fibres or colour change across the eye. So would you say you're quite a resilient person when it comes to illness or recovering from illness?
Yes, I rarely get ill. Once a year, maybe not even that.
Okay, that's great.
And when I do get sick, I usually recover within a day or so. So yes, I'm quite resilient.
Okay,
I can say
that's
that.
great. Yep, so that also shows in your eyes. Okay, so next I'm going to look at what we call the collarette. So the collarette, if you look here, so you've got your pupil in the middle, and the collarette is this wiggly little line that goes around the eye.
Okay.
And so between the pupil and the collarette is your stomach zone. So this is where your stomach, your intestines, your colon happens, and it can be seen in both eyes.
Okay.
So the collarette then separates the stomach zone, or the digestion and elimination zone, from all the other organs and tissues in your body.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so we're going to have a look at the collarette. Okay, I'm going to do left eye. Just look here for me.
Okay.
Okay, I might lean in a bit closer for this one, if that's
Okay.
all right. I'm just going to lift your eyelid, if that's all right, Paul.
Sure.
Okay, and come in. Okay, and the lifting, I'll lift the eyelid.
Okay.
Okay, so you have what we call a balanced collarette. So it's not too close to the pupil and it's not too far out into the colour of the iris.
Okay.
So what this shows is that you've got a good balance, digestion and elimination system.
Okay.
So what's your bowel movements like?
Oh, daily.
Yep.
Yep. Every morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you have any periods where you might get some constipation or some diarrhea?
I don't remember ever getting constipation.
That's great.
Diarrhea, yes. Probably from bad food,
Mm-hmm.
food poisoning,
Okay.
kind of diarrhea. Yeah.
Okay.
And you know that you get diarrhea. You know you had a stomachache right away. if you had
Okay.
Something bad.
So it was because of something that
Something,
you'd eaten
yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Okay. Down. Yeah. So having a balanced collarette shows that you do have, good digestion, good elimination time. It doesn't mean that you're not going to have periods where it might be different, but
Okay.
generally you do have good digestion and elimination time. Having a balanced collarette also means we can say that you're balanced emotionally.
Okay.
Would you think that you're emotionally balanced there, Paul?
I don't know about that.
Okay, no problems. All right. Okay, so now we'll move on to looking at each eye separately. Okay, so in iridology we say that the right eye is your father's side,
Okay.
and in the left eye would be your mother's side. But this is only an 80-20 rule. We just find it's mostly that, but it doesn't mean it's definitely
Okay.
that side.
Okay.
So what we'll do is I'll have a look at any markings that stand out, and we'll discuss each one, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Okay. So I might need to use my pen light this
Okay.
time. In the brown eye, the markings don't show up as clear as it would in a lighter coloured eye.
Okay.
So we use the pen light to really bring out those markings.
Okay.
So again, if at any point it feels uncomfortable or it's too bright in the eye, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. And we'll do the right eye.
Okay.
Okay, looking here for me, please. All right, and in comes the side light. Okay. Okay, so the first mark that I see there is here, if you look at the chart. So it's just a slight opening of the fibres, you might say. So it looks like you can see underneath the top layer of the eye. It's here over, looks like the middle ear or the inner ear. It could be down into the neck, but it looks to me like it's around this ear zone,
Okay.
we can call it.
Okay.
So did you have any middle ear infections or any problems with the ears maybe, or when you were a child? Or
Well, I am a little bit hard at hearing.
okay.
Yeah.
Is that only in the right ear or is that
In
both
in
ears?
both ears, I sometimes when people have conversations, I don't know what they're saying because I can't hear them.
okay?
Or when people call me or talk to me from a distance, I cannot hear them.
Oh, okay. And
Yeah.
do you know what might have been the cause of?
When I was working, my job entailed me to spend long times exposed to very, very loud noises and music. So
Oh.
yeah,
Gosh, that sounds like an interesting job.
it was, yes.
At the expense of your ears there?
Yes.
Okay, well, obviously if you feel that it's a concern,
Yeah.
you would go and see a hearing specialist
Yeah.
for that, and
Yeah.
they can do a hearing test and, to see,
Right.
how far the hearing's gone.
Yeah.
Do you feel it affects you in your day-to-day
No,
life?
it's not really a problem.
Mhm. You can hear your children all right?
I can hear my children right, for
I
sure.
think we can all hear our children, can't
Yeah.
we? Okay, all right, so I'll just write that down. Okay, so going to look again into the right eye,
Okay.
using both torches.
Mhm.
Okay, just going to come in a bit closer this time.
Okay.
Right, so look here for me, please. Okay, all right. So this time what I'm seeing is a radial furrow, where it's like a small line
Mhm.
here over the kidney reflex zone.
Okay.
It's only a small line,
Yeah.
doesn't cross through from the pupil, doesn't come across the collarette.
Okay.
It's just here in the kidney zone.
Yeah.
Is there any family history of kidney disease or kidney stones that you know of?
None for my parents.
Okay.
But I don't know about my grandparents.
Your grandparents.
Yeah.
Okay. And so for you don't have any urinary issues, so like urinary flow issues or
No.
urinary tract infections.
No.
Also with kidneys, it could be a sign of blood pressure. Have you had your blood pressure taken recently?
Not recently.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the past, you haven't had any
No.
blood pressure issues?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. So we would consider this a nurture point for you. Like I said in the beginning, it doesn't mean that you're going to have, a problem with your kidneys or kidney disease in the future. What it is saying is that it could be a sign of a weakness in the organ, and sometimes we call these marks flowers.
Okay.
So you have to look after a flower, you have to water it, you have to feed it, you have to give it love and sunshine.
Okay.
And so, that's how sometimes we explain these markings
Okay.
that we see.
Yeah.
So, that would be a nurture point.
Yeah.
But we can discuss that further at the end
Okay.
on how we can achieve that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to look one more time into the right eye before we move on.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Okay, looking here for me and coming in. Okay, and with the sideline. Okay. Right, like I said, not too many markings going on in your eye. There is one more small spot that I can see that's here over the lungs reflex zone.
Okay.
So you can see here you've got your lung, your bronchioles.
Yeah.
It can even be the chest,
Okay.
not just in the lungs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you tell me anything about lungs in
Um,
the family or?
I was a heavy smoker
Okay.
for quite a long time, but
Okay.
I've already quit smoking for about 7 years.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. 7 years.
Yes.
Well done, Paul. That's congratulations.
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
very good. Okay. Do you have any symptoms of like coughing or find it hard to breathe, respiratory issues?
No.
No?
Never. Don't have.
You don't get any phlegm or mucus in the lungs?
No.
No
No.
asthma?
No.
Okay,
No.
that's fantastic. Really good that you could give up smoking there. So obviously that's the most important thing.
Okay.
So the lungs again would be another nurture point. So again, not necessarily anything's going to come bad towards your lungs or anything like that. But don't smoke again. Make sure you're nurturing that area of your body. And then if you do see any signs, persistent coughing, finding it hard to breathe, getting a big breath in, things like that, or mucus or respiratory issues, that you would go and see someone like a medical doctor about that. Okay, all right, so that was the right eye. So now let's look at your left eye. Okay, how are you feeling? Okay?
Good. Thank
Okay,
you.
all right. All right, okay. So I might just look with this torch first. Okay, looking here for me. I might just pull up the eyelid there, Paul. That's okay?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay, and open nice and big. Okay, alright. So what I'm seeing, firstly on the left eye, is, as I said before, mentioned before, that this part between the pupil and that collarette, that wiggly line, is the stomach and intestinal zone.
Okay.
So just down here you've got some what we call diverticular signs.
Okay.
So what they can mean is that you might have some weakness in the connective tissue in your large intestine or in your colon.
Okay.
Have you heard of?
Yes. Yes. Actually, when I had my colonoscopy about maybe 3 to 4 years ago, I have diverticular disease.
You have diverticular disease.
I have two holes in my intestines. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. All right. So that's interesting. That's definitely
it is very interesting.
showing up there. Has it ever become inflamed or infected into diverticulitis?
No.
Wow, that's great,
No.
because I'm sure that you know that if it does become infected or inflamed, that it can be very painful.
Yes.
And can be quite serious.
Yes.
So this is definitely an important sign in your eyes, and one that we need to pay very close attention to.
Yes.
Do you ever have any blood in your stool?
Sometimes, but not.
Nothing alarming.
Nothing alarming.
Okay. And any other pain or discomfort in that area, maybe after you eaten certain foods?
Sometimes, sometimes after I eat certain food, it is a slight tummy ache, or just a bit of discomfort just in the abdominal area. Sometimes have to go to the toilet quickly, or after certain foods.
Would you say your diet changed, Paul, when you moved from Singapore to Australia
Oh
dramatically?
yes, for sure.
Okay.
For sure. I'm used to eating Asian food. I'm Chinese, so we eat Chinese food. And coming to Australia, I eat most of the time. I have a Western diet.
Okay. Yeah. So we do. You do tend to see a lot of this when people with your kind of ethnic background,
Mm.
move from their countries to a westernized country and start eating the westernized food, that it does cause a lot of gastrointestinal upsets. And also it can be one of the causes of diverticular disease.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll definitely be looking at your diet for that
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go in again and have another look.
Okay.
Alright, looking up here. Okay. Okay, the side light open nice and big for me. Okay. Alright. So, again, it's the same kind of sign, but it's one there's one standing out by itself. So the diverticular sign down here had quite a few little dots, black dots, but there's one that stands out here, still inside that stomach zone, but right here on the collarette in the descending colon. Like you said, you do have diverticular disease. Is there anything else you can tell me about the colon, or?
Well, from a family background perspective,
Okay.
my father had colon cancer.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Okay. That could be showing that. I mean, it is in the left eye, which is usually shows the mother's history, but
Okay.
like I said, that's only an 80-20 rule. So unless your mother's had any gastrointestinal.
Not that I am aware of, not that I know of, yeah.
Okay. So it could be picking up that from your father's side. So knowing that, if you don't mind me asking, did your dad
He
work
survived.
through that?
He
did?
survived, yes.
Oh, that's wonderful
Yes.
news. And did he have to have surgery, obviously?
He had to have surgery to remove a huge part of his colon.
Okay.
Then of course he had to go through chemotherapy, and but he's been given the all clear.
Oh, that's great
Yeah,
news.
it's good
It's
news.
wonderful.
Yes.
Okay. So this kind of adds to that diverticular sign and this gastrointestinal weakness here.
Yeah.
So it's doubly important that's a part that you nurture and look after
Okay.
through lifestyle
Okay.
and diet.
I understand.
Okay, so I'm just going to look one more time into the left eye.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So looking here, leaning in. All right. Like I said, you don't have many markings at all. What I can see is one more marking here. So again, just that slight opening of the fibres that looks like you can see the underneath layers, but it's not much darker than the top. Here over the lumbar spine or
Okay.
sacrum areas.
Okay.
Can you tell me about anything to do
Well,
with your spine?
I do have a bent lower spine.
So like a scoliosis? Is that what it's
I
called?
guess so, I think so.
Yeah, like a mild scoliosis?
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
And
I've had that for a very, very long time already.
okay, and
Yeah.
does it cause you any discomfort or pain?
Sometimes a bit of an ache when I overstretch. It's very, very stiff and very tight. Can't touch my toes. I used to have difficulty traveling on a plane for extended periods, and my
Okay,
back
so
would hurt.
sitting.
Sitting down for long periods, my back would hurt. but it seems to be, well, getting better, I think, because
Mhm.
I do a lot of stretching exercises.
Okay, great.
Do a lot of I practice martial arts that help me stretch my back.
Okay, what
Yeah.
martial arts is that?
It is called Wing Chun.
Wing Chun.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, it is. It is.
That's great, Paul.
Yeah, but it doesn't really it doesn't affect me, you know, if doing my farm work, bending down in the garden
Okay.
and picking up heavy things doesn't bother me.
It's probably doing it good, doing all the
Probably.
farm work
Yeah,
instead of
probably.
sitting down,
Yeah,
you know,
I think
for
so
a lot
too.
of the time.
Yeah.
Was your last job, I know you were listening to a lot of music, but were you sitting down, like was it an office kind?
There was a bit of office work, but
Mm.
then there was a bit of loud music work as well. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay, so I think we've picked up quite a few things there, so I won't overload you with too much more information.
Okay.
However, there wasn't much more to see actually
Oh,
on your
okay.
eyes. Yeah.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So it was quite good. So how did you feel about the assessment? Is it interesting?
Yeah, it's very interesting that when you look at my eyes and you know you pretty much told me about diverticular disease that I have.
Mm.
You spotted my lower back, my hearing.
Mm.
Yeah, so it's quite yeah,
Yeah, it's
fascinating.
It is.
Yes.
It's great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's like I said, it's not a diagnostic tool, so
Yeah.
we can't pick out things that are definitely wrong. But
Yeah.
you know, for someone that's interested in keeping up their health, it's definitely great for you to come in and
Yes.
see those other points of like nurturing and things and
Yes.
how you can look after yourself.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll just talk a little bit about, you know, maybe some recommendations from what we've seen today.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think the most important thing that's come out of today is the gastrointestinal stuff. So the diverticulosis and the colon stuff that's, you know, in your family history there. That you do get some tummy upset sometimes after you eat some foods and need to go to the toilet quickly. So I would take that as the main item of today.
Okay.
So the best way to address this is through diet.
Okay.
Can you tell me what your usual diet is like?
Now,
Yeah, now.
the usual diet, meat, you know, chicken or some beef or lamb, lots of veg, some potatoes, sweet potatoes, brown rice. We don't put any salt in our food.
Okay.
So get the salt maybe from like a tamari or
Okay.
from a lemon. I don't take a lot of sugar.
Okay.
No sugar at home. If
Okay.
I'm out and I'm offered a piece of cake or some pastry, I don't say no to that.
Okay.
And I do consume. I go out for dinner or for lunches, for meals, and there's salt in the food already, and I don't.
You'll eat what's
I'll
available.
eat what's available. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so it sounds like you're on the right track there.
Yeah.
The suggestions that I would make,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
Yep.
So you want to first eliminate any foods that could aggravate your condition.
Okay.
So you don't want your diverticulosis to go to diverticulitis, which is the inflamed, infected
Oh, okay.
part of it.
Yes. Okay.
So through diet, like you said, you don't eat sugar, so eliminating sugar, gluten, if you can.
I eat a lot of pasta.
Pasta.
I like pasta and noodles.
Okay, I mean it's fine to eat it in moderation,
Yeah.
but you know, if you could maybe eat a wholemeal version, or if you could find like other sources rather than wheat
Yeah.
You know, like a quinoa pasta or a brown
Okay.
rice pasta or something like
Yeah,
that. That would be
okay.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you want to eliminate those inflammatory foods, so no processed foods, you know, high fat, high salt, high sugar.
Yeah.
Maybe minimize your red meat intake or animal fat intake. You don't have to eliminate it altogether,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
but maybe keep your meat, your portions to the size of your palm,
Okay.
and the rest veg on the plate. So some good protein sources for you would be some white fish, the chicken that you said that you eat there. So
Yeah.
that's some good quality protein.
Yeah.
Do you other things like coffee and alcohol? Do you?
Alcohol occasionally,
Mhm.
so not all the time,
Okay.
and no spirits.
Okay.
Very rarely spirits, beer and wine mostly.
Okay. How many a week would you say you have?
It all depends on what kind of week it is.
Okay. Okay.
But I would say right now
Yeah.
I drink once a week.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or maybe 1 or 2 days a week.
Okay.
6-pack of beer,
Okay.
couple of bottles of wine.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. If you could, you know, just limit that
Yeah.
as much as possible without, you know, completely eliminating it at all. Unless, you know, if it does start causing issues, then you would have to remove those things from your diet.
Yeah.
Okay, so things to add if you're not already having them. So the most important thing for you is good quality, high fibre foods. So this includes things like lentils and legumes.
Mhm.
So you could maybe have those instead of your pastas so often.
Mhm.
Try and have more lentils and legumes in your
Okay.
diet. The green leafy vegetables daily. So this includes things like kale and broccoli and spinach, things like that. So fruit, especially fruit with skin on it, like apples, because of the fibres in the skin. That's really good for you. And again, like I said, the good quality protein. So fish and chicken, just a smaller portion. You know, and to make sure all these things are as organic and non-hormonal, you know, sources as you could possibly get.
Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Okay. The other thing is just to make sure you drink lots of water. So, do you drink lots of water, Paul?
Sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. So that's really important.
Yeah.
You know, just keep a glass next to your water filter or whatever it is you use to dispense your water, and every time you walk past it, just even have a sip. You know,
Yeah.
make sure you're getting that water in.
Yeah.
You can even mix it up a little bit with some herbal teas. You know, some
I do
green
drink
tea.
green tea.
You do?
Yeah. All day long.
Okay, well that's included in that, but some of it has to be water.
Just water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can even be bone broth, which is nice coming into winter.
Yep.
Some bone broth or
soup.
some vegetable broth, but clear liquids.
Okay.
Okay. You know, maybe make sure you're getting your omega-3s as well. So you'd get that through your nuts and your fish and maybe some hemp seeds there.
Okay.
Some hemp oil.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's mainly for your diet there. So for the other things that we picked out, back on digestion. If you're feeling a tummy upset after you eat something, let's say it's a protein or animal fat, you could take some digestive enzymes when you're eating proteins. That will help break down that protein and start that process, and hopefully be able to digest and absorb that a little bit better.
Yeah.
You could also do some slippery elm.
Okay.
Would be great for you.
Yeah.
So what slippery elm does, it's mucilaginous, so it's sticky when you wet the powder, becomes sticky, and when you swallow it, it coats the gastrointestinal tract all the way from the throat all the way down to the anus, and that would help with your diverticular disease, like protecting and coating that tract, so you're not getting any upsets there.
Okay.
That's something you can do daily, so you can take it in the morning. You can either do it just in a bit of water. It's not very nice, but I find the powder is better, has a better effect than the capsule.
Okay.
You get it to a smoothie, get it to some juice, every day
Yeah.
would be great. You could also do some bitter herbs if you feel to help with the digestion, so some gentian or something like that. If you feel you're still having the digestive upset after you do the dietary changes.
Okay.
Okay. So the other things we picked out today was the kidneys as a nurture point. So you, again, make sure you drink lots of water to help those kidneys do that elimination process that they do, because they're cleaning your blood and getting the toxins out of your body, so they need lots of water to be able to do that.
Okay.
You said you don't have salt in your diet, so that's great. Your sodium levels aren't going to be an issue there. You could, as part of your herbal tea or your clear liquid, you could do a dandelion root.
Okay.
Okay, so that's nourishing for the kidneys.
Yep.
And like I said, just keep your eye on any symptoms that may come to show you that you might be having an issue with the kidneys.
Okay.
Okay. And the other thing was the lungs.
Yes.
So for the lungs, you could do some lung herbs if you wanted to, so some elecampane, or you could, but if you're not experiencing any symptoms, just keep your eye on it. If you do start to have a cough or a cold, maybe go and see about it, and then you could see about doing some herbs or things then to support the respiratory system and the lungs.
Okay.
But maybe just do some really good breathing exercises. Breathe in all that really good farm air.
Yeah.
You can sing. That's really good for the strengthening the lungs there.
Yeah.
And definitely don't take back smoking under any circumstances.
Okay.
That would be good. As for the hearing and the spine, that's something that you would have to see, a professional that handles that area. So, a hearing specialist or maybe an osteopath if you find your back's getting worse as you age.
Yeah.
But again, just keeping up that great lifestyle there, Paul, and keeping moving, and your dietary changes there.
Yeah.
I think you'll be in good health.
Great. Yeah.
So I know that was a lot of information.
Yes.
But do you have any questions you would like to ask me?
Well, first of all, great recommendations. I know very little about most of what you recommend to me, but I'll certainly look them up. Maybe you can write it all down for me, so
yeah, absolutely. Yep. We can take a picture of my notes here and send them through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And if there's any questions in the future, or you'd like to come back and see me again,
Yeah.
not a problem.
Okay. Great.
Okay.
Thank you.